Hi.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Commissioners. My name is Martin Hyde. This is a copy of a public records request that I made recently, which shows the turnover of officers in the Sarasota Police Department for the last 5 years. It shows the number by year for retirements, resignations, dismissals, and those that failed to complete field training satisfactorily. As you can see, what it shows is that more officers resigned in the first 9 months of this year than in the previous 4 years put together. If this continues, combined with normal retirement and staff attrition rates, such a disturbing mass exodus would mean we'd have to replace every single officer at SPD within a 5-year period. One of the officers marked on here as retiring recently was actually 2 years from retirement and handed in her resignation along with an EEOC complaint against the department. The complaint, of which I have a copy here for you, describes an officer going from an unblemished disciplinary record for many years to one littered with petty complaints, all following her making an allegation of sexual harassment against an officer. Another officer resigned after being disciplined by Internal Affairs for incorrectly writing a speed limit in an accident report as being 45 miles per hour when it was in fact 40 miles per hour. Contrast this incessant and petty nature of these investigations with the fact that the chief had a fender bender in Marco Island a while back, many miles out of the limits for where city police vehicles are allowed, with her family members and a realtor in the city-owned vehicle, completely contrary to regulations. The result of that multiple breach of city regulations was no Internal Affairs investigation and no disciplinary action. So clearly do as I say and not as I do reigns at SPD. Favoritism being displayed by management was another regular comment in the as-yet unacted-upon $200,000 IACP report, such as the $80,000 a year job given to a former captain at SPD to run our homeless outreach team. This job was never advertised, and nobody else was considered for the position, which sounds a pretty cushy deal to me. Seeing as the City Commission is so fond of anonymous tips, I direct them to the chat room LEO Affairs, in which many SPD officers have posted in recent years about what's really going on at SPD. I printed here some of the comments about the chief and the city manager for your edification, pending which you'll presumably authorize an outside inquiry like you have with the city clerk. One 15-year officer who resigned this year left to run a lawn business, which should underscore just how serious the morale issues at SPD are, when a veteran will give up a lifetime career to cut grass. It's taken 5 years for our city manager and our chief of police to devastate a once fine department. It'll take a while to fix, but the first step has to be for the chief of police to leave immediately and for our city manager, also known as Captain Chaos, to go too. Thank you.
Mr. Lee.